All right, significant development overnight, the confirmation of the killing of Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, first the military leader and then subsequently over the last few months after the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, Yahya Sinwar had become the political leader of Hamas. He has now been confirmed dead in a strike by the Israeli military. It is a huge turning point in this war. What may this mean, this particular moment? And more importantly, could this potentially pave the way for an elusive ceasefire? Let's try and make sense of this by speaking to Mr. Yaakov Amidror. He's the former national security advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu between 2011 and 2013, and currently he's with the Jerusalem Institute for Security and Strategy. Thank you very much, Major General Amidror, for speaking with us. First, if you could put into perspective for our viewers here in India the significance of what was confirmed yesterday, that Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, has been killed. What does this mean in the context of the ongoing war? And what does this mean in the context of Israel chasing him for the last 20, 30 years now?
First, I think it's too optimistic to think that the killing of Yahya Sinwar will bring end to the war in Gaza and a ceasefire. We have a long way to do to clean Gaza from all the remnants of Hamas, and it will take time. But it's very important that Sinwar is not there anymore, because he was the symbol of Hamas, and people used to say that if Sinwar is coming out of the tunnels with the big V for victory, saying "I'm here," that will be the symbol of the success of Hamas. So this symbol of success disappeared, and there is no any connection between Hamas and success. It's a huge failure of an organization which in a barbaric way attacked Israel a year ago, butchered the civilians, raped women, killed babies, and now the leader is finished, and we will have to deal with the remnants of Hamas in Gaza in the future to build a situation in which Hamas is not a threat to anyone who might come into the Gaza Strip, to take responsibility for the civilian side of the population in Gaza, because the IDF will remain the one who is responsible for the security.
But Major General, could I ask you, yesterday after the confirmation of this news of Sinwar being killed, there was a phone conversation between President Biden of the United States and Prime Minister Netanyahu, where President Biden, and this is a sentiment shared by much of the world community, that today you have Mohammed Deif, who is the military commander of Hamas, he's been killed. Ismail Haniyeh, the former political leader of Hamas, he's been killed. And now Yahya Sinwar, who was the leader of Hamas, he has also been killed. So why not use this as a window to finally say, okay, we're stopping the war. Our objective was to kill the Hamas leadership, and we have done so.
No, our aim is not just the leadership. It's the terrorists who are part of this organization. If we leave tomorrow Gaza, we will go out of Gaza. It will take the remnants of Hamas to regroup and to reorganize themselves few months, and we will have to face another Hamas number 2 in Gaza. To be sure that Hamas is not regrouping, that Hamas is not building its capabilities, Hamas is not reorganizing itself, that Hamas is not becoming again a terror organization with military capacities, we have to stay there and to clean Gaza from all the remnants of Hamas. If we will go out too early, within year 2, I don't know how long it will take Hamas to rebuild its capabilities, and we will have to face another 7th of October without Sinwar. Other commanders will come in. There are 2 million people in Gaza. They will find someone to lead them.
But Major General, how long will this war go on? It can't go on indefinitely. The international community is already putting pressure on the Netanyahu administration. More than 42,000 Gazans have died. Surely at some point there has to be a timeline to end this war.
I believe that a year from now, when we will clean Gaza from all the remnants of Hamas, someone else can come in. Either it will be the Palestinian Authority or an Arab states or combination of Arab states and the Palestinian community. I don't know. It's too early to determine who will come in, but it will take us probably a year to clean Gaza and to make Hamas weak enough that others can come in. If someone is coming today, as you are offering, they will have to fight Hamas. Do you know someone in the world who is ready to fight Hamas inside the Gaza Peninsula, the Gaza Strip? I don't know about someone like that. Not the Palestinians, not any Arab state, no any international force, not the United Nations. Someone who is coming today into, if we have a ceasefire and someone will come as a substitute to Hamas, he will have to fight Hamas.
But tell me this, Major General. So you are saying you don't see this war ending for another year. So by that time, it would be 2 years since this war began. It would easily be, at least in recent decades, the longest military campaign that Israel has undertaken. And we're not even talking about the new fronts that have been opened with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and possibly, and this is what the world is most worried about, a direct retaliation, a direct confrontation between Iran and Israel. I mean, can the world afford for such a long military campaign, and ultimately for what objective, to what end? I mean, today there are 40,000 people dead after 1 year. In one more year, there might be 80,000 people dead. Ultimately, like you said just a moment ago, who is going to replace Hamas in Gaza? Who is going to govern Gaza after this war is over? I don't think anybody quite has an idea.
It was not the war was not initiated by Israel, with all due respect. We just reacted to the barbarian attack of Hamas. So if you have a question about that, you have to ask Hamas, not us. We are now fighting to eliminate the ability of Hamas in the future to make a second 7th of October attack on Israel. With respect to the have our responsibility is the security of the citizens of Israel, not to answer the question that should be applied to Hamas and to ask Hamas what you have in mind, Israel and children.
No one, Major General, with due respect, no one is arguing that Israel does not have a right to defend itself. But
so
Israel, unlike Hamas, is a democracy. It is a nation state.
Yeah.
It has to follow the rule of law. What is your objective criteria? When will you come to the conclusion that, okay, Hamas now is not in a position to launch another October 7th? Can you lay out some objective criteria for when that will be achieved and how that will be achieved?
Yes, of course. Hamas had around 40,000 members, terrorist members, at the beginning of the war.
Mm-hmm.
We considered up to almost finished to kill the other half of the terrorists. And terrorist form Hamas organization will not be in Gaza. The Palestinian Authority come in and rebuild Gaza, because now Hamas is not a threat to anyone who might come into Gaza. Then,
what about the new front vis-a-vis Hezbollah? And what about this very real fear that the world has that there would be a direct confrontation in Israel?
To what should be done in Gaza. We should lower the capacity of Hamas in Gaza to the level in which anyone who might come, Indian forces, Arab forces, American forces, the Palestinian Authority, will not have to fight Hamas, because we did it and Hamas does not exist as a terror organization in Gaza. Only then someone will have to take the responsibility. At the same time, we understand that we have two goals in Lebanon. One is to push Hezbollah from the Israeli borders. We are in the middle of a ground operation in which we are cleaning the area near the Israeli border. And it will take few months to push Hezbollah few kilometers to the north, so Hezbollah will not have line of sight. Hezbollah cannot launch anti-tank missiles into buildings inside Israel.
But Major General, you know this, Hezbollah can launch attacks on Israel city route.
That we have two goals. One is on the ground to push them few kilometers to the north, so they cannot strike into Israel, not to make Hezbollah version of 7th October against the Israeli communities in the north part of Israel. This is one goal. The other one, we are doing parallelly. It's two different operations. One with the Air Force, we are reducing the firepower of Hezbollah. At the beginning of the war, the potential was that Hezbollah could launch into Israel few thousand rockets and missiles. Today they are launching only hundreds. It's 10 times less than what was expected. Why Israel succeeded to reduce the military capability of Hezbollah? A minute, let me finish the sentence.
Okay, sure.
The firepower of Hezbollah. It's two different goals. One is done by the ground forces in the south part of Lebanon, and the other one is done by the Air Force all over Lebanon, from the Bekaa Valley to Beirut.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you are saying in the next foreseeable future, as you say, maybe in the next year, the Israeli objective is to finish Hamas militarily. They should not be in a position to launch another October 7th, kill 40,000 Hamas terrorists, as you said, to finish Hezbollah, to push them back north of the Litani River in a way that they can't launch another October 7th from that side, and also to destroy their rocket capability. As you said, they were firing in thousands. Now their ability has come down to hundreds. And also regime change in Iran. You want to do all of these three in the next year, in the foreseeable future.
We don't speak about regime change in Iran. It's too big for Israel. What we want to achieve in Iran is something very minimal. That the Iranians understand that there is a price that Iran will pay in Iran if they continue to launch missiles into Israel. Again, the initiation was not an Israeli one. The Iranians launched 300 projectiles in April against Israel. It was not Israeli initiation. The Iranians launched into Israel 200 ballistic missiles in October. It was not an Israeli initiation. It was Iranian initiation. What we want the Iranians to understand, that the old strategy that they had, that they will build around Israel ring of fire by proxies, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, Hamas, the Houthis in Yemen, Shiites in Iraq and in Syria, and Iran will remain 1,500 kilometers away. No one can say anything about Iran because the Iranians are not part of the game. Their game was run by the proxies of Iran. Today it doesn't work.